Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or if you've watched before, welcome back. So today we've got a very cool video that I've been wanting to film for a while, and I have my co-host here. As you can see, we're doing a wine video, and that's why I asked my special friend in the wine industry to help me. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Lee. I am currently a wine steward at Waterkloof. And my great friend invited me out today, and
I'm not paying though. We're paying for ourselves.
Damn it, sorry.
Even though I invited you.
And we're just here on a wine tasting, and we're just gonna, she'll elaborate on what we're gonna do.
Okay, so the theme of this video is to how to act like you know what you're doing, how to impress your friends. Like, we're not teaching you how to actually taste wine and how to understand wine and how to know what you're doing. It's just to look like you know what you're doing. Okay, so before we start with the tips, these are some things that just two tips, pre-tips that are very important. Okay, so the first thing is just get to know the different types of grapes that there are. So you know, the different whites and the different reds. I have a story of a dear friend from Joburg who brought me a wine, and she said, Roxy, I brought you a Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Which is, there's a Cabernet Sauvignon and a Sauvignon Blanc. So I went to her, Amy, oh sorry, I said your name. Sorry, Amy. I said to her, okay, but is it a red or a white? Because then I would know if it was a Cab Sav or a Sauvignon Blanc. And she said, I don't know.
Yeah. So the important thing is the basics. There's nothing worse than going to a wine tasting and then having to ask the person who is going to serve you, can you please tell me what is white and what is red? Because then you just look uneducated.
Yes.
So we don't want that.
So the wine server is going to think you dumb, and so are your friends. And the whole thing is about impressing the people you're with and letting them think that you know what you're doing. So the most common white varietals,
Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, those, and Chardonnay. So those are the
most important ones that you need to know. There is like Semillon and Viognier, but don't worry about those. Chenin, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay are the most important white grapes in South Africa. That's all.
Yeah.
And reds, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon,
Merlot.
What else? Merlot.
Yeah.
Pinotage.
And Pinotage, because it's South African.
Yeah.
So know that Pinotage is South African as well, please. That's an only
bonus
varietal.
Question. You will look cool if you say to people, did you know that Pinotage is our South African grape? Fun fact.
Yeah.
They'll be like, wow, that's so cool. You must know so much about wine. Okay, and then the other thing was just learn what you like. So if you know that you only like whites, don't taste reds. If you're going to go, ugh, because it tastes bad, you know, then only do whites.
Yeah.
Okay, so tip 1. Lee, would you like to explain tip 1?
So tip 1 is very simple. So when you do get your wine, what you're going to do is just grab your glass nicely. Don't take the whole glass, but grab it nicely, elegantly.
Don't tip before A. Tip 0A.
Yeah. So
don't hold the glass like this.
Hold it nicely,
like this.
elegantly, and then just give it a swirl. You can smell it. You don't have to smell anything specific, just smell it for looking cool.
Yes.
And for
you're not smelling for something. You're not swirling it for something. You're just doing it because that's what people do. People do. They swirl and then they smell. And that is tip 1. That is what you do. When the first thing you do when people have poured the wine and you receive it and you say thank you and they walk away. The first thing or even before they leave, while you're waiting for the wine tasting person to pour for the rest of the group, or while they're explaining, swirl and smell, like bend and snap, swirl and smell. Okay, let's cheers.
Cheers.
We are drinking a Sauvignon Blanc Semillon blend. Okay, so tip number 2 is first listen, then talk. So when the wine tasting person is explaining the wine, first listen to what they say before you say what you think the wine tastes like, because it could be a disaster. Do you want to give an example?
Yeah, so when the person is busy speaking and you think you knew what you smelled and you go, oh, this smells super green like asparagus, and then the tasting assistant goes, it's quite peachy and quite fruity. So you don't want to look like that idiot that says something completely in contrast to what the person is actually going to say.
I mean, you might not be wrong. I mean, if you, whatever you smell is right, but you just don't want to look like a retard if he says it's A and you said it's B. Because it also puts him in an awkward situation of have to be like, yeah, but no, not really. So, yeah. Wait until they say peaches, apricot, and then you can say, yeah, peaches and apricot. That's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
So tip number 3 that we have is ask questions. So Lee, would you like to give us some examples of questions that you can ask?
Okay, so the gentleman, when he poured it for us, he told us that it was a Chardonnay. Now, a few of the easy questions to ask when it comes to specifically white wine is to ask...
and red.
No, and red.
Yeah.
Is the wine wooded or not wooded, this specific Chardonnay?
Chardonnays are slightly wooded.
Only slightly. Okay.
Yes.
The next question will be to ask, are the grapes from here, where we are sitting right now?
Yeah, actually it's from here, in the Hermanas.
And the Hermanas area.
Hermanas area, yes.
Okay, so it's
So
cool
it's-
to know where the grapes are coming from as well. And
I mean,
a white
it's
wine.
not going to change your life, but it's just cool to ask, are the grapes grown here? Yes or no? No. Okay.
And also to show some interest as well. And then the third thing, easy question to ask is, what is the aging potential for this wine? So if I take it home and I store it, how long do you think I can keep it in the bottle?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. That's
And
it.
so what you can deduce from that is because it's wooded, it does have a little bit of an aging potential. It's not a drink now, buy now, drink now. It is a wine that can age a little bit. So because it's lightly wooded, it's got a medium aging potential, about 5 years. But that's not information you need to know. It's just stuff that you can say to
In order
your-
to look like a pro.
Yeah. Did we look like pros?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so tip number 4. Okay, so now you have, the person has poured the wine. Okay, you have swirled it, you have smelt it. Step 1. Step 2, he's explained the wine. You've listened to what he said. Step 3 was ask questions. We've asked if it was wooded or unwooded and if it's complex or whatever. So now it's time to taste. So Lee, would you like to demonstrate and explain how one tastes?
Okay, so
I mean, essentially, sorry to interrupt, it is a wine tasting. Keep that in mind.
not a wine drinking. Okay, you're allowed to drink it, just don't all at once. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you've swirled it, you've smelt it, he's explained and everything. So you're just gonna take a small sip. I'm gonna swirl it around nicely in your mouth, and you're actually gonna start thinking. This is where the thinking comes. Okay.
So that's step 5. Step 5 or tip 5 is evaluate. Once you've tasted the wine, you have to kind of, like, there is a little bit of thought involved. I'm sorry, wine tasting is not only just fun. There is a little bit of using your brain. You need to think, is the wine light, medium, or heavy? Any wine is going to be within those 3 categories.
Yeah.
And here's a tip. If the wine is wooded, so he said it's lightly wooded. Wooded means heavy, unwooded means light. And he said it's lightly wooded. So where do you think that falls in the spectrum?
In the middle.
So it was quite medium. It was
Right.
medium bodied, and that is a deduction you can make. It was relatively medium. It wasn't too light, it wasn't acidic, it wasn't like heavy buttery. It was like a nice medium style, relatively easy drinking, but it was a little bit complex as well. Okay, and then this is now after you. So now we've done all the tastings. We're not actually done. We still need our reds. But then once it comes to, okay, now you finished your tasting. Then it comes to buying. Okay, there are some questions that you can ask that are beneficial. Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, so most farms that when you go for a tasting,
Well, not most anymore. Some.
well, some of them, when you go do a tasting, you can just ask them when you're done with your tasting if you buy any wine. So example, if you buy 1 bottle of wine, does one person's tasting become null and void, or how does that work? And if they do say, I'm sorry, Doesn't matter how many bottles you buy, you're still going to pay for your tasting. Ask them, okay, cool, I'm willing to buy some wine, but is there a loyalty club or a club membership that I can belong to in order to at least get some discounts if I'm going to come and continue buying where I am right now, especially if you enjoyed the wine. It's nice to ask about those things, and also you get some offers monthly, and 90% of the time there's not even a fee that you need to pay in order to belong to these wine clubs in any way.
And I mean, the one time we went to a wine farm in Stellenbosch called Ara, and we were busy paying, and we happened to, and I have been there a few times, I know the assistant there, and she said, oh, by the way, have you heard about our odd bins? And they were selling Viognier, which is a white grape varietal that you probably never heard of, but it's quite an expensive grape. It's not a grape that you see very often. They were selling the bottles for 18 Rand each, and it was such a good wine. It was a really good wine. But if we hadn't have got to that point, she would never have told me, she would never have like suggested it for me. So yeah, always ask the people, do you have any specials? Do you have odd bins? I'm sure you've seen odd bins in Checkers. Ask if they have any odd bins or any old wine or unlabeled bottles that they can sell to you for like 20 bucks a bottle, because often, I mean, if it's a really good wine farm, even if they're selling it to you for 20 Rand, it's not going to be disgusting wine. It's still going to be okay, drinkable wine. So yeah. And then mine and Lee's best tip in the industry, tip number 7, my favorite tip in all of my tip videos. Not tip like give tip. Tip is important though. Give tip to waiters. Tip your wine tasting advisor. Tip number 8, tip your wine tasting advisor.
Yeah, please.
More than 10%.
Yeah, if you're saving on not paying for that tasting, at least tip the person, please.
Yes, what Lee said. If you're getting the tasting for free because you bought a bottle, make sure you tip your wine tasting advisor extra, because otherwise he explained all of this stuff for nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway, make friends in the wine industry. Because you never know what benefits you can get from it. Like, I'm not saying if I go to Lee's farm, I'm not saying she's gonna I'm not saying she's gonna give me a wine tasting for free or give me wine for free, or I mean, they might, it's all at their own discretion, but she might give you a 10% discount if you're buying wine that she wouldn't give someone else. Or she might give you an extra special wine. You know, we have so many wines. She might give me one extra. Wow, the quality has drastically gone down.
Yes.
But are these people coming outside?
No, they're going.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, my camera ran out of memory before we could finish, but we're pretty much done. So yeah, I just wanted to do an outro because that's what YouTubers do. So just thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Thanks for being in the video, Lee. Thanks for the moral support.
Thank you so much for having me.
And yeah, we'll probably be doing more stuff together about wine and stuff. So cool. Thanks.
Oh, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button, please, and like this video and share it as many times as you like. I know I'll be sharing it. I'll be sharing the shit out of it. Okay.
And not just because she's in it. She normally shares it. By the way, you can't swear, Lee. I'll beep it up. It's okay.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you use all of the tips. And when you're with friends and you look, I was going to say cool, but I can't say. I'm sure YouTube doesn't know Afrikaans swear words. It's fine. So when you look cool with your friends because you're using my tips,
Yeah,
just
and maybe,
say, "How the babe taught me."
yeah, and also maybe let us know in the comments below if you would like some advanced things, because of course we are wine stewards, so what we taught you was just the basics.
Because I assume that no one knows anything.
Yeah,
ever.
so if you want something a bit more advanced, or you want just some extra knowledge on wine, just pop in the comments below and let us know.
We can do part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.